Germany's monopoly territory is home to 17 million people.
Families already struggle to pay their bills.
PG&E was convicted of 91 felonies.
Really? I mean, what's next?
Welcome to the Graybeard Talk Solar YouTube channel. This is a place where a little wisdom goes a long way toward turning sunshine into some serious savings for you, especially if you live in California. Today's video is all about solar and roofing. I'm going to give you the ins and outs. Should you replace your roof? What happens if you need a new roof? Can you wrap the new roof into any type of financing and or power purchase programs? We're going to answer all of those questions and more today. But before we get into it, please smash the like, share, and subscribe buttons if you will. We're trying to grow the channel and we need your help. If you find the information valuable, we'd like you to share it and spread the word. So let's talk a little bit about solar and roofing. So the first thing first. Many people that are interested in solar have a concern about whether their roof is a good candidate for solar installations. And in other words, we get a lot of questions. Should you replace your roof? Do I need to replace my roof? Will they do an inspection during the solar installation process? And so we're going to jump into all of those questions. So first and foremost, yes, when somebody decides that they want to move forward with solar, one of the first steps in the process is to visit your home through a site inspection. And very commonly during that site inspection, they're going to confirm, is your roof an acceptable roof to handle a solar installation? Are there any repairs, issues with the roof, anything that needs to be done in advance of the solar installation? That's all part of the standard process. Now, with most folks, if you have a house that is 30 years newer or less, so in other words, maybe you bought it, it was new 20 years ago, 15 years ago. Most comp shingle roofs will last 30 years. That's how long they're warranted for. So what I've started to say to people in my practice is if you've got at least 5 years of roof life left, then I wouldn't replace the roof prior to getting solar. And my logic behind this really is 100% having to do with the cost savings that solar provides, the cost of removing and reinstalling the panels if you don't replace your roof, and then eking out a little extra life expectancy out of that roof. Because, let's be candid, you're doing this probably to save money. I wouldn't want you to waste roof life. If you're interested in saving money with the utility, why waste value, why waste savings on the roof? So here's my logic behind the 5 years or less comment. If you've got a roof that you feel strongly is going to need to be replaced in 5 years or less, then yes, we need to talk about doing that prior to solar. But if it's 5 years or greater of roof life left, then I would encourage you to not worry about doing a roof replacement prior to the installation of solar. And here's my logic. The solar installation is going to immediately save you massive amounts of money versus the utility. That savings is going to be far in excess of the cost, especially over a 5-year period of time. That savings is going to be far in excess of the cost of removing and reinstalling solar panels that you may put on the roof now 5, 6, 7 years out. So currently in California, most of our installer partners will remove and reinstall your solar panels for about $200 a panel. So let's say that you've got a 20 panel system. Let's say it's an 8,000 watt system. So 20 panels, each at 400 watts. It's an 8,000 watt solar system. If you needed to remove those panels in advance of a roof replacement, that would be $200 total for the removal and then reinstallation of those panels. In that case, it'd be about a $4,000 expense. But let's say moving forward with solar right now saves you $2,500 a year in money that you wouldn't normally have to pay to the utility. Well, that savings of $2,500 a year, you multiply times 5 years, you've now saved $12,500 that you wouldn't have otherwise been able to access, wouldn't have otherwise had. So in my mind, paying the $4,000 to have the panels removed and then reinstalled is totally acceptable, given that you've got 3 times the value in savings than that would cost. And maybe, just maybe, you eke out 7 years or 8 years or 9 years, maybe even 12 years of roof life when you thought it was 5. If there's no reason to replace, if nothing's leaking, if there's no problems, maybe you can eke out even more time. So that's the logic behind the 5 years or greater of roof life left. By all means, go ahead and install those solar panels. But let's talk to those of you out there that the roof is just expired. You know it, we know it, the installer knows it, and you absolutely want to secure a new roof before you install solar. One of the questions that we have is, can you roll a roof replacement into solar financing? And the short answer is yes. You can totally roll a roof replacement into solar financing. So bundle it all together, replace the roof, have the solar installed. Maybe you get a company, like for example, we deal with about 4 different companies that do solar in concert with roofing. You know, most solar companies are going to have a qualified roofing division or have an affiliation with roofers. And so I would encourage you to explore those types of options if they're available. Now, financing is not the best option available right now, only because interest rates are high and solar financing comes with something called a dealer fee. If you're not aware of what a dealer fee is, it's basically like buying down a mortgage rate. It's money that you would give. In this case, it's money added to the cost of your solar installation as capital that you would have to return back in total for the loan. So let me give you an example. Let's say your solar installation with batteries, backup, everything is going to be, let's say, 50 grand. It's probably high, but let's just say it's 50 grand, just to make the math easy. Well, a dealer fee, if you wanted a really low interest rate at, let's say, 4.99 or 5.99, a dealer fee is an artificial amount of money that you have to pay back, either give now or pay back through the loan, to buy the rate down. So solar financing right now is closer to, let's say, 10% as a cost. So to get down to 5.99 or 4.99 would take a lot of money to buy that rate down from the finance company. So if the solar writing a check for it would have been 50 grand, you may have to sign a loan that you're going to pay back 75,000 at 4.99 or 5.99, meaning that extra 25 grand, 50% of the cost of the actual system is going to the bank to incentivize them to take your rate from 10 to 5 in this example. So solar financing, not great if you want to replace your roof, because rolling it in there is only going to exacerbate that problem. Those dealer fees would apply not only to the solar. Dealer fee is that added principal that you'd have to pay back. It would not only apply to the solar, but it would also apply to the roof. So I think you would end up spending a lot more money under that scenario than just getting solar financing or roof financing as an alternative. But let me talk about a little known option that most people aren't aware of, and that is rolling the roof, the new roof, into a power purchase program. So the way a power purchase program works is a third party, someone other than your utility, owns the solar system that's going to be installed at your property. It can be a roof-mounted system or a ground-mounted system. In this case, since we're talking about roofing, let's assume it's a roof-mounted system. So this third-party owned, TPO, third-party owned system, owned by some other energy company other than PG&E or Edison or whoever you've got in California, this other energy company would absorb the cost of the roof replacement as part of the power purchase program. Now, what I love about power purchase programs is there is no financing, there is no debt, there is no interest rate, there is no dealer fee. There's none of these added costs. It's quite simply just a very simple math equation. They're going to take the total cost of your installed solar system, in this case, adding in a roof, divide that by the amount of energy that you're expected to consume as part of this designed solar system, and then they'll price it accordingly. You're going to buy your energy in kilowatt hour cost, just like you do from the utility. So I like it because there is no dealer fee. I like it also because there is no financing. And I like it especially because most power purchase programs, depending on your usage, let me qualify this, the less energy you use, the more expensive the rate you would be charged from a power purchase program. They give you bulk pricing discount. The more energy you use, the cheaper the rate. The less energy you use, the more expensive the rate. So my qualified answer is if you've got at least, let's say 12 to 15,000 kilowatt hours or more of energy that you're consuming a year, and you want to add solar to your house and do so through a power purchase program, and in addition, replace the roof as part of that structure, here's what I love about power purchase programs. The combined cost, the monthly payment, often is still less than what you're paying the utility just for the energy, and you got a new roof out of the deal. So we've done this dozens and dozens and dozens of times. We can actually do it for you, but I think that's the best way right now for you to not spend your own money to buy solar, not spend your own money to replace the roof. You're going to add value to the property. You're going to make it more marketable and sellable because it's got a new roof, and it's going to be a system that makes power that's a lot less expensive to purchase than what the utility provides. And I think both of those are a really, really good result. So as a solar broker, we're always trying to keep you in the know, trying to make sure you're informed and educated. We are a knowledge first solar brokerage company. If you'd like to connect with us, all you got to do is text YouTube, 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 what you're watching me on right now, to 84503. And my team will absolutely be in touch. And if you need a new roof, we definitely got options for you, and many customers of ours have been able to replace that roof and save money versus what they're paying the utility, all in one combined transaction through a power purchase program. So we hope you consider that, especially if you didn't know that that was an option. And by all means, if this information was valuable, if it was enlightening, and if it was meaningful in your knowledge quest to better understand solar and roofing, then please smash the like, share, and subscribe buttons. We definitely love to continue to grow the channel. And so my name is Graybeard. I launch a new video every week right here on the channel. Launches at 9 a.m. Pacific, and I'll see you next week for another episode of the Graybeard Talks Solar YouTube channel. Thank you so much for watching.
Thanks for listening to SolarWise, Graybeard Talks Solar. Please visit our website, SolarWiseCO.com, to learn more, and we will see you next time on SolarWise.